for me, I think, my biggest issues with this film really are the integration of Selina Kyle into this film. And I, like I said, I thought Zoe Kravitz did a really good job with this role, but and I don't necessarily blame her, but I blame Matt Reeves in the writing really more for her character. And I just think she feels pretty out of place in this movie, and it doesn't. And like I said, I thought she was well cast and I thought she was good, but it's just like the character itself just feels really out of place in this movie. Just because, she lacked a lot of the personality and the suave like trickiness that Catwoman has, in the comics and even in the Arkham games. Like she kind of took this role, I think, a little too seriously. In that sense, like Catwoman is very much like a very like promiscuous, but also, and I think she nailed that part. But I think like the charm is really the word I'm looking for. She lacked the charm, and I don't really, like I said, I'm not really blaming her. I think the character itself just lacked a lot of the charm that Catwoman has, and I think even Anne Hathaway did a little bit of a better job, and I don't like that. I don't like her portrayal of Catwoman either. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is still the best Catwoman that we've got. Definitely better than Halle Berry as well, but
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. But
yeah,
I stay with better than Halle Berry. That's for sure.
yeah, it's definitely better than Halle Berry, and I think I think Zoe Kravitz is better than Anne Hathaway, but I think just the writing of this character was, I think, just they made her just a little too wooden and a little too like angry. And I get that, like,
Right.
And you don't really, the relationship she has to the Annika girl, which is like the reason that they really, her and Batman come together, it just wasn't very earned to me. I just didn't really care.
It was a mutual friend that got killed, and now she's on kind of a revenge hunt.
Right.
So.
And it was just kind of like, it felt like she was just kind of being forced into this movie at times. And I was kind of like, that was one of my concerns, I think, seeing the trailers, was like, is this going to be more about Catwoman than Batman? And it definitely is not, which was good, because the movie is called The Batman. So I was like, that was one of the things I was concerned about. Like, is Batman just going to be shelved in this movie and it's going to be more about the other characters? And no, this is definitely a Batman film. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was wrong about that. It is definitely a Batman film. But yeah, and I think, she does get the right amount of screen time. I just think her motivations just weren't as earned. And another huge plot hole that I found in this film was how Catwoman, or I'm sorry, Selina, she's the daughter of Falcone, right? But like, how does she not know that he's behind everything? If she's literally working at his establishment all the time, and she's literally his daughter for all these years, and she's known she's his daughter, how does she not like put it together that he's the one that's really, running stuff? And like, if she would have known that, this movie would have ended a lot sooner than it did, So I just thought that was kind of silly. But, hang on. Lost him. But yeah, I'm just going to go on. But yeah, I thought it was a little unearned in that way. But yeah, I'm reconnecting. But yeah, kind of adding on to what I'm saying, I just thought the film just, it kind of, I kind of wish that she had a little bit more, complexity to her, in the sense that, like, the way that she's kind of connected to this whole murder mystery, I just think was just a little bit choppy, and could have used a little bit more. I think the character of Annika, who kind of connects them all together, I think could have really used a little bit more, complexity to her, because she's a huge integral plot point, and she's pretty much just a plot device to get Catwoman involved and to get these characters involved. But again, yeah, not as ideal of a portrayal, from a writing standpoint for the Catwoman character as it could have been. And that's kind of a shame. And but it is what it is in that way. But, I still do really like I like Zoe Kravitz and what she was able to do with this role. But again, just, I think from a writing standpoint, that was definitely something that could have been better executed, in my opinion. But yeah, here, I'm gonna get Alec back in here.
There we
Bad.
go.
Yeah, my bad. It glitched out for a second there. But
No, you're good.
yeah, I'm gonna just make sure we're still up on YouTube and all that. But yeah, I was just kind of explaining a little bit more about just Selina and her role in this, you know, because it's just like that was kind of like a big thing because she's an integral part of this story, and it just like, you know, it just kind of was a little bit messy, you know, her whole involvement in this. You know,
the reveal was really forced, and
yeah,
I don't think it was needed. You were kind of like, okay, so she has a lot more skin in the game than just a friend, which makes sense.
No, yeah, exactly, and yeah, and like I said, like her not knowing that Falcone is running the show the whole time to me was just really silly. Like when she reveals he's my father and like all that, I was just like, really? Like, why? Why does that have to even be a part of this? Like, why couldn't she just have been somebody that was observing a lot of this? But again, I liked the scene a lot where Batman gives her the eye camera thing and she kind of has to go around and ID people. That looked very much like from something ripped out of the Arkham games. That whole, you know, plot point seemed like it felt like it was very much ripped from the Arkham games in that way. You know, with that whole thing, with even just like the way that it looked like when it would come up on someone's face, and it's